I would say the biggest thing right now to any individual is breaking the spell. We're all under sort of a form of mass hypnosis. And I don't care what your political ideology are, I don't care what group you belong to, there's a spell going on. And if you want evidence, and I'm not here to send you in the right direction, if you want evidence, look at the state of the arts, the constricted state of art. Look at the tone of political and social discourse. That's not normal. Now again, I didn't live through the last period in our country that was tumultuous, which was late 60s, early 70s. So maybe it was exactly the same and people were saying the exact same things. I don't know. But I can say in my conscious lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. And we're coming up on a set of, this is sensitive, so I'm going to try to dance through this right. When you see something that's truly horrific, like for example, when I saw what happened in Paris, I've played that stage, I've played thousands of stages like it. I know that feeling, maybe too intimately. I know that fear. And then you put yourself in that spot and you grieve for the innocent people, and we all go through that in our own way. And I'm not trying to say you have to, I'm speaking about my own version. It's not that as incredible and wow. It's when we click back to, well, I can only handle so much of this, and you're back watching South Park or something, you know what I mean? At some point you have to click the channel. You just have to. You have to go back to, I gotta let the dogs outside. The cats want some food. You have to, you know what I'm saying? So, we're getting normalized quite quickly to things we shouldn't be able to process that quickly.
To tragic shootings and everything.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
When you saw with what happened in San Bernardino, another horror, when you saw people spinning out political narratives within 20 minutes of the first reports, I mean, that's not, I'm sorry, that's not right? Human to human. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're on the complete other side of the world from me, politically, socially. I don't even need you to like what I do. If we can, as a people, move on as quickly as we're learning to move on, that's a spell. That's a spell. So, let me finish. But at some point, you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
You just said people put their head in the sand and they kind of want to put their head in the sand.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, so you're saying
No, I'm saying at some point, it's like when there's a social progression, right or wrong, it doesn't resolve like a chord at the end of a song until it gets what it wants, or until it's smashed to pieces. Does it make sense to everybody what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've consciously or unconsciously, right or wrong, engaged a set of things in motion. Okay, now they're going to play out, right or wrong. And like a manager once said to me, as managers love all these kind of things they tell you, water finds its level. Water runs, So the point is whatever is the level of these movements, integration of new political and social ideologies, races, the changing face of America, the da-da-da-da-da, I don't care what it is, the changing face of art, the changing face of media. People are clicking off network television like never before, and now everything's on the iPad, and da-da-da-da-da, right? This is all hurtling forward at a speed and a rapidity with a rapacious kind of commercial nature that isn't taking into account that people are going to get kicked to the side. And at some point, there has to be a resolution. That, as a musician, I know. the chord, that chord may not come until you and I are in the ground. But it's going to come. History shows that at some point, the war ends. People go home, people bury their dead, people grieve, people get what they want. But until that happens, it's chaos. And we're in it now. So when you say, what do you do? I would say the most valuable thing before you do anything is to achieve a sentient consciousness that allows you to process this information as real. I'll pick something that's simple to me and might be offensive to someone else. I believe it was George Bush, and Obama continued it, so you're talking about a Republican and Democratic. They don't allow photos of the dead coming home. It was an American tradition that they allowed people to go out to Langley or whatever, and the caskets with the flags on, and they'd shoot the picture. And Bush cut that, and Obama's continued it. They don't let them take pictures. Why?
Right.
Because they don't want you seeing that fucking picture.
Right, of the dead.
Of the dead. Because it's inconvenient to X or Y.
Right. Or it shows that...
Multiply that times infinity,
right.
And that's the world you're living in. A controlled frame. Now, most people, I would argue, and I believe at this point in my life, want to be in that frame. I've given up trying to kick them out of it. Let them have it.
Okay.
I'm not going to be the one that's going to wake them out of the trance.
But you might wake some up. And you don't think
Done
it's
with
worth
that.
to just try to crack a few out? No?
I'm doing all I can do to just hold myself together.
Right. Right.
I have a better chance of helping my brothers and sisters in the world if I have myself intact.
Right.
But if I'm throwing myself around trying to hashtag this cause and win this fight and
Right.
stare down this phantom digital enemy.
No. But you can write a song about it that someone might get lost in their car and actually think, and it attaches to that
No,
somehow.
but the data would suggest I'm more likely to write a song that somebody's going to listen to long after I'm gone and go, gee, that was really sad.
But that's data. Maybe.
Okay, well that's
Maybe God will intervene and the right person will hear it and
but
he'll
I would
change the
argue
world.
that's probably more the business I'm in now.
Right.
There's an incredible painter, and I probably always say his name wrong. His name was Otto Dix,
How do you
D-I-X.
spell it? D-I-X. Okay.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
maybe it's Dix, Otto Dix.
Okay. We'll remember it.
And I'm probably wrong because I have a way of conflating information.
Okay.
But as memory goes, Otto Dietz was a German, sort of like an edgy German painter who started painting what was going on in Germany before it went on. Meaning before people went, ugh, right? Most people don't realize that in 1934, and I'm probably getting the people wrong, but prominent Jewish leadership put ads in Variety in 1934 saying they're killing the Jews or they're beating the Jews or whatever.
They were doing experiments on a lot of the children at that time too. I heard this
Well,
on
the first
NPR.
thing, the Nazis killed the gypsies first and then they killed the artists,
Right.
right? And there's a reason they killed the artists
And
second.
then they killed
You can do the math on that.
the special needs children. They killed them as well.
Sorry, right. They killed sorry.
Yeah, don't
I'll
forget
correct
that.
myself.
Yeah.
They killed the gypsies first, then they killed the special needs people, and then
the artists.
and then if you saw yesterday, there was an article about how ISIS is now killing the special needs children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shocking parallel how that all works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to my reality.
1930s.
So, it's very easy to look at a painting of Otto Dietz from 1928 or 1932, and again, I hope I'm not wrong, but this is my memory, and go, gee, he was painting what was going to happen. And nobody was listening, because they didn't want to listen.
Right.
Now you look and go, duh, there it is. It's like...
Right. Well, it's like the creators of Homeland, the show on Showtime. I just read an article by the showrunner of that show, and he was flying to Europe to tape the season finale on the day of the Paris attacks, and and that had happened in one of the show. I mean, this had happened in the season of Homeland they filmed
But I'd
it
argue
before.
something with you, right?
Do you think that?
I would argue that most people, at least the people that I know and that I see and experience, and I certainly experience a lot of people, are incapable of processing that kind of data in real time. So if they're incapable of processing it in real time, I don't think they're going to process it a week later.
Got it.
So if you're making contemporaneous art, chances are you're going to fly right by the ears of just about everybody that comes in contact with it because it won't seem relevant. Big Bang Theory is much more relevant to the cutesy, cuddly, onesie world they're living in than the world I'm living in. Now, a therapist or a psychologist or a mind like that might say that I'm living in a fun house of my own making, and that may be true. I tend to think I've got history on my side to say we're into something that tends to go south. Because you have an entrenched set of things going on.
Right.
It's not like volleyball, like, hey, what about this? Hey.
Yeah, your turn. Whoa, don't spike it. No, this is way more dangerous.
Yes. Yes.